Alright guys, today we're going to be taking a look at some of the weapons found in the Star Wars Rogue One trailer, so let's get right into it. Alright guys, so let's start off with this shot here in the second Rogue One trailer that came out today. Basically, we have this little guy here with it looks like an M60 machine gun. Now, if you look at where his left hand is placed on the buttstock there, and you look at the picture here, it is totally an M60. Then you look at the grip and the trigger, and just the overall, like the top cover area, that is totally an M60 machine gun. But the Star Wars group has put on a scope, which is really cool, and of course they got to make it look somewhat sci-fi. And then towards the end of the barrel there, they've taken off, it looks like they've taken off the bipod there, and they've added some PVC piping with a bunch of random drilled holes to look as like a cooling barrel. And I think that's kind of funny. They take a totally Vietnam era weapon and they turn it into a Star Wars machine gun. As you can see, there's some tropical weather and trees out in the bottom right corner there, and it looks like he's up in a ship of some sort. So I find it very eerie that it's totally a Vietnam era. As you can see from this picture of a Huey chopper gunner, he has the M60 pointing out the side of a helicopter, and right as I saw this scene, that's instantly what I thought of. When I saw the M60, I'm like, this is so Vietnam era-esque, and it's really cool. So I thought that was definitely a really cool one, and we got some more to go over, so let's do that. Alright, so next up we have this shot. This was at the beginning of the trailer here, and we can see a stormtrooper, and it looks like some rebel soldier here. And on the right, we have the stormtrooper holding his blaster, and most stormtrooper blasters were based off of the Sterling SMG. It's an older style SMG, really pretty much just a long pipe that has the receiver and everything with the magazine coming out of the side. But as you can tell, Lucasfilm and the people over at Star Wars have shortened the magazine, added a scope, and added some other detailings up on the foregrip. And overall, it's totally a Sterling. It's very obvious if you look at these pictures here. And then on the left with the Rebels gun, this was a little bit trickier for me to figure out, but I saw some key details that instantly gave it away, and that was the grip, the magazine. And if you look at the magazine and then just a little bit up below the barrel there's that hinge, and that is definitely an AR-15. Now, they have taken a AR-15, and as you can see, I have a picture of an AR-15 pistol with a little bit different of a magazine grip, and a little bit different, but it gets the point across. And they have used, it looks like a 10-round box magazine there. They've cut off the barrel and added, it almost looks like a suppressor slash flash hider, and there's no stock whatsoever. So overall, I like how they're using a more modern weapon, an AR-15, chopping it up and making it look like a little cool pistol. So definitely really cool. Let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, so switching it up a little bit, this isn't actually a weapon, but it's a piece of headgear. Now, there was a scene in this new trailer where there were some stormtroopers rolling through a town, and it looks like they were on a tank of some sort, and this was the tank driver with his head popped out of the armored vehicle. And right as I saw this scene, it was like a 3-second pan of this soldier here up on the tank. It just reminded me of a World War II German Stahlhelm. Now, as you can see here on the left and the right, I have a picture of some Stahlhelms. One on the left is an actual World War II photo. And if you look in the middle on the Stormtrooper, the back kind of flange that's flaring up in the back definitely reminds me of a Stahlhelm. The overall, how it's almost a perfect dome on the top, definitely reminds me of a Stahlhelm. So overall, a little bit more different. I just saw this, and I'm thinking World War II stuff all the time, and I definitely saw that in this helmet. Let me know if you guys can see it. Alright guys, so now we have the P08 Luger in JYM's hand. Now, I googled and found that's the only info I have as far as her name, JYM. I don't know if it's like an acronym or it's Jim, however you pronounce it, but I'm just going to refer to it as JYM. Or her. So let's get started. So the very first picture we see is of her and this other guy in a scene, with stormtroopers in the background, but it's very hard to make out what her pistol is. We can tell that it has a suppressor on it, but other than that, it's really hard to tell. But then moving on to the next shot here, we have her and the same guy running, and we get a very clear shot of the P08 Luger, and we can tell that it does have a suppressor on it. Obviously, it's Star Wars. It's not going to be a suppressor, but in real life, it looks like a suppressor. And we have a picture of an actual suppressed P08 Luger here on the screen. And no doubts, it is the P08 Luger. Then the next shot we get is a very quick shot, less than a second long, and it's of her shooting a stormtrooper with it. and we can still tell that it is a PO8 Luger from the trigger guard and especially the catapult bolt system. Now this was of course a World War II pistol, a German pistol, and they had a very complicated catapult bolt system where the bolt actually came up, pushed a new round in, and it was a semi-automatic pistol, of course. And I actually have a video of an airsoft version of this being fired, catapulted up and then back down. That's why it's called the catapult bolt system. And then we have the shot, the 1 second shot of her shooting it, and you can watch the top of the pistol and how it functions. Exactly the same, no doubt about it. It's a PO8 Luger, and I wouldn't be surprised if that prop is actually a airsoft gas pistol, because it gets that action and that little smoke coming out of the top. I wouldn't be surprised, guys. If you're a somewhat hardcore Star Wars fan, you know the Lewis gun has been a heavy rifle of the Stormtroopers for a while now. We have seen that officially in Rogue One, so we'll be seeing that. One thing to note is that in pretty much all the Star Warses, they take off the main drum magazine and then they wrap coil or wire around the front as kind of a hand grip off the bipod. So overall, really cool to see that coming back in Rogue One. Now, here's an interesting one for you. We get this roughly 10-second shot of the guy in the white suit walking up to the window here, and there's two guards on the left and right, and they both seem to be having this grenade launcher looking rifle. It has a stock with, a wired stock, and looks like a main, pretty much just a tube, and took me a little bit of research, but I think I might have a good guess as to what it is. It's either a tear gas grenade launcher type weapon, or it could be a grappling launcher, grappling hook. As you can see on the left here, this is from the Dark Knight, the Batman series. This is one of the Joker's goons shooting the grappling hook building to building. And I thought of that, and stock seems to match. It has the two wireframe stocks. And overall, interesting weapon. Can't wait to see if we get to see it in action or not. So overall, very interesting. So starting off the trailer, there wasn't many clear shots of this man's rifle, but towards the end, we got some nice, good pictures. So starting off, I can already tell you that it's an AR-15, like the pistol that he carries. If you notice, you can just look at the main magazine. There's actually, it looks like two magazines on his rifle, but if you look at the one closest to his hand, there is definitely an AR-15, and if you just work your way up, you can look at the dust cover, the bolt, everything's the same. They have just seemed to add a bunch onto the front, added some crazy optic on it. And another cool thing I saw was his pouches on his side there. Looks very familiar to the World War II MP40 stick mag pouches, which is really weird to me because his weapon right there, that's not the type of magazine holster that you'd want, so I don't know why he has that. Maybe he has a third weapon that he carries around, but I'm not very sure. But overall, definitely can tell it's an AR-15 platform that they built off of it. Another shot of him running, and if you look at what's inside the red circle on the bottom right there, and just look at the magazine, like I said, the one closest to his trigger finger, and you work your way up, you can see the same exact dust cover, the shell ejector, everything's the same there. So it's definitely an AR-15 receiver that they built off a weird looking stock, and the front they totally messed around with. So definitely an AR-15. Once again, very cool that they're using one of these more modern rifles instead of a lot of World War II rifles. To finish this man's rifle off, I also saw a picture of an N110 sniper rifle, and I could see it a little bit more as far as this is a stretched out AR-15 sniper rifle, and I just thought that was a little bit more accurate because it has the shorter, less curved magazine. Just another thought, another weapon that I thought of in my mind, so that's really cool. Another World War II German rifle, actually a machine gun to be more accurate, is the MG42 or 34 variant. As you can see from the stock on the Stormtrooper there, it's definitely an MG42 or 34, and just the sheer length of it, the muzzle, everything's pretty much the same. And last but not least, we've got some more troopers here with Sterling and SMG type weapons. These look like they have an extended stock and some more stuff going up on the front, especially that guy in the middle there. I don't know what the deal is. Almost looks like a grenade launcher, but that is actually going to do it for the weapons in the Star Wars Rogue One trailer. Overall, very cool to look at what Lucasfilm and the people over at Disney and Star Wars are using for their prop weapons. Just kind of cool to look at them and be able to see an actual real firearm in the real world, and then they're taking it and making it a Star Wars laser shooting weapon. So overall, very cool. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What is your favorite weapon that I've talked about in this video? Mine's definitely probably got to be the MG42. So overall, thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. Peace.